We're back with another video. That phrase is so catchy. I gotta find my own phrase. Maybe something like more unique, cliche, because I heard a lot of people say back to another video. And like Smooth Geo, he'd be like, Smooth Geo, back when I was like young and watching him. So I gotta find something unique. Give me a couple episodes and we will find out. But we're gonna read and we're gonna go through my day. So let's begin. This morning, I read Esther. I usually read 3 chapters. Again, I'm not no pastor priest, but I'm about to give you my interpretation of the word. Try to read every day, But we're in Esther, so what is Esther? Short little thing. Along with my readings, I also listen to pastors, different like sermons online. Make sure you have some discernment. Don't just take everything everybody gives you, especially on like Instagram and stuff like that. People have their opinions. They dust don't sprinkle whatever they want. So you have to be careful because sometimes they be saying some nonsense. But anyways, I've read 7, 8, 9 or something like that. Yeah. And so Esther is the last historical record of the Old Testament. It has like history involved. There's prophets, obviously the minor prophets that live after her, but they're prophets. They're not talking about like the time and like what's going on. And it's very interesting because people always talk about Esther as like a good or bad book because you don't see Lord or God and he's not mentioned, right? But it actually is very interesting because that's what it's all about. So you have Esther, a woman who's a Jew, who so happens, right, enter basically a beauty pageant, right? And back then, a beauty pageant was like you showing up to the king clothed or not, because his queen, so this Cersei's homeboy, basically was like, yo, Queen Vishanti, slide over here. I want you to show off in front of the boys in the banquet. She's like, I have dignity. No. He said, I'm done with you. I'm finding a new woman. He had a model audition. Esther won. And so Esther was the now queen. And so, in her position, she was able to help her people. How? Through advocating for them. Because basically a man named Haman one day was walking through the courtyard, right? He chilling. King likes him. Walking. People bow down to him. So he's like, yeah, I'm that guy. He feeling himself. It wasn't until the other advisors was like, yo, Haman, we bow to you, but this bull don't. This bull, Mordecai. He's like, for real? He goes to Mordecai. So now when every time he walked past them and looking for them to bow, he's looking at who's standing up. And guess who he saw standing up? Mordecai. Mordecai's a Jew. He's like, yo, I don't like Mordecai. So he goes to the king knowing the power he has. He's like, yo, bro, like, you know what? Like, them Jews, let's set a time to kill them. The king's like, sure, put my stamp of approval. So he basically roll some dice, find out when, and it was set date for, and it was a law for them to die. And so then Mordecai found out, all the Jews found out, and they were mourning. And so this man Mordecai goes to Esther because he's the uncle of Esther. He's like, yo, Esther, you gotta advocate for us. And it was very, very interesting. Like, he basically says to her, chapter 4, verse 13. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance from the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time like this. So they're speaking like coincidence. Like you got in this place for a reason. You have this title for a reason. If you don't deliver us, maybe somebody else will. And so it's a bunch of question of like who's working behind the scenes, right? It's very interesting because, like I said, this beauty pageant show wasn't PG. What Haman wanted wasn't PG. And so what we see is that even when we make our own decisions, Christ is working behind the scenes. Christ put Esther in that position. Though her morality was not, she didn't follow the her and Mordecai did not follow the 10 Commandments completely. They sinned, they did wrong, right? Like I said, they bent their moralities, but even with people with bent moralities, God still had a plan and was going to conduct it through his people, regardless of who you are. And so that reminds me that regardless of who I am, my righteousness, it does not matter because it was Christ's righteousness put upon me. And so he could use a broken vessel, even broken vessels in here, to help. It was very interesting in chapter 7 when I was reading today, or chapter 6 and 7, is that Haman was a very prideful guy. And though he was the one that had the law made for the Jewish people to die, right? We see that in chapter 8, right, when Esther pleads with, we see that he can't take the law away, but he adds another so the Jewish people could defend themselves, as Esther is the advocate. And what do we see in the gospel? We see the Old Testament law. We're not excused from it. Matter of fact, if we were to be judged, we will be judged by that, right? But because of Jesus, who is greater than that previous law, right? Hang with me. Because Jesus is greater than that previous law. We are righteous because of Jesus. And so, as Esther advocated for her people, Jesus advocates for us to the king, to the Father on our behalf, because because the law can't be taken away. And as Haman put into place and the king put into place, it cannot be taken away. But what was added was Jesus' righteousness. Or in other words, the king Xerxes adding a law that the Jewish people could defend themselves. And so we see the beauty in Jesus within the Old Testament. We see how God could work behind the scenes regardless of who you are. And you could use you in your position, whether you are at work like Mordecai or you're in a relationship like Esther. Thank you, and let's get our day going. As you can tell, this is me doing a bunch of kicks and punches. I currently learned a little bit of Muay Thai. Yeah, I'm pretty bad. I just started in like a month, 2 or 3. I was going to a gym, but right now I haven't been going because of transportation and all this other stuff. But regardless, here are some clips of me punching and kicking and doing all that good stuff. It's honestly really good exercise, and it's something new because I like to claim that I'm good at like things that deal with exercise, you know, where it comes to like sports and stuff, but it's very humbling when you come to something and you really, matter of fact, you're just like terribly uncoordinated and you got to learn everything over again. So here's some kicking and punching and all that good stuff. Maybe one day I'll teach you guys, because right now I'm still in the learning process, but yeah, I ain't no coach for sure. Just finished working out. Now I'm about to sand down the thing I've been working on in my mom's bathroom. So they call it a joint tape. And so what a joint tape does is like puts drywall together and makes sure like because drywall isn't like huge, so you have like big gaps, and so they cover the gaps with tape and mud. And so I did that the past couple days. I'm not gonna lie, don't judge me, this is actually not the greatest work. It's actually way harder than expected. I don't know if you can see it, but it's mad textured. It's not supposed to look like that, but I'm about to sand it down. Good thing about mud, you can sand it down. So I'm sanding it down and hopefully it leaves better. So wish me luck. I had to put some patches because I sanded too much, but don't look too bad. I'm about to shower. Hello guys, we are going to see the Odyssey today, so we will get movie reviews after, give you a deep dive. So that's probably going to be our video today.
Hashtag Oromemon.
That is my sister. I don't know what that means.
Once you watch a movie, you'll know.
Okay, we're about to grab some snacks, and yeah, stay tuned. We're going to watch the movie. I don't know what preview this is, but this looked like medieval times. I think I could live during those times. I would be like an assassin. We're gonna give ratings. Start.
I give it 10. I mean, I've read the Odyssey 4 times. I've had classes that have based conversations around the Odyssey. Though I don't think it's entirely true to the book, I do like the extracted meaning of the like themes of war crime.
Freaky T. Rating.
Solid 8.5 to 9. It variates between the two. Small coming to age movie, but that's like towards the beginning and like the ending. Most of it is just like a redemption arc, basically.
I give it a 9 out of 10. I think that was one of the better movies I've watched. My 1 sentence summary is, oh my goodness, how do I word this in 1 sentence?
Wow, and he doesn't have the words.
I know.
What I would also say is like hashtag early 2000s SpongeBob movie. You'll see the parallels if you watch the edits.
Okay, I say reflective father coming back home.
Yeah, I recommend.
You recommend? I recommend.
I recommend it.
It's a nice long
Yes,
movie.
I'm not really a war person. Those type of movies, I think that like certain shots look really good. I like the shots. I like the camera they use. And I know some people are saying like it's blurry. I like that blurriness. Not having something always in focus kind of attracts you more to the whole picture instead of just the actual object. So I think that looked good. I think the shots on the water look really good. I appreciate those type of things. Taking videos and doing all that nonsense.
They try to minimize the amount of CGI as possible.
Yeah, and I think it looked good.
So the Cyclops was a puppet.
Yeah, I think my favorite scene was that Cyclops scene. Even
Really?
though, yeah.
My favorite scene was the ending where he strung the bow and did the shooting.
Where it's like very low lighting and it forces the audience to look at a specific thing. Whether it's the beast and its neck, the eye of the beast, or the sheep. Even though the sheep have no importance, it's like it makes it more flavorful.
It's making you focus on one thing instead of the possibilities of everything in the background.
Yeah, so it's like your only mindset is what the person is and how they're gonna get up.
Do you get what I mean now, Agamemnon? His name is Agamemnon, but all he
Agamemnon?
does is Orifarm the entire time.
Who's that?
That's the
king.
guy with...
Oh, the guy that just stands there? That's what Freaky T be doing.
Or farming?
Pause.
Or absolute oral farming. Yeah, they only said like 3 words, right?
Yeah, but the purpose for him was like the entire war was basically him getting Helen for his brother, right? And like he was such a position of power that he didn't actually have to fight. He just had to go in there
He said
and command, basically quote unquote command them. But he wasn't really doing much. He was just
commit war crimes, basically.
basically it was a whole bunch of men following blindly under someone who doesn't really have to do anything.
Yeah. His henchman was doing the work.
His crime was killing his daughter for sacrifice. It was insane.
Yeah. I almost lied. My favorite scene is tied with the Sirens scene. Even though it was very insignificant in the movie, I think that
One of
the
the
side...
biggest scenes in the book.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, I would have appreciated it to be... I never read the book. They made it seem little. I think it's very... It captures a lot of like your desires versus where you are and like how you balance that and or chase that. Yeah.
No, but it's like, it's so much more. Because the thing is, they literally told him, if you listen to the Siren song, you're gonna die. And his pride is like, I want to listen to the Siren song. So he ties himself on a post, tells all his other men, close your ears, tie me on the post, I want to hear the song. And then he suffers throughout, demonstrating that surface level he wants to listen to the Siren song. Underneath, after, he's dissatisfied because it tells him everything that he wants but he can't have. He already had it and he can't go back to that, which is insane. Because one little thing, such as I want to listen to a Siren song, leads to you having a whole existential crisis about self-reflect. The entire movie, every single time is a time for self-reflection. Just because of his pride. He's a very prideful man.
Very prideful.
So one thing I didn't like, well, it's not that I didn't
She's
like,
dropping gems.
One thing I didn't like-
I meant to say that.
but not didn't like, it's just I kind of had enough. Like you were saying in the movie, they played that one scene of just him sitting on the stairs about like 37 times.
Yeah, that fake got me annoyed. This guy likes it like this.
Second time around, I see how many times I'm also like, wait, he's low-key just like light skinning right now. And so I was a little bit confused after like the 5th time. The first and second time I get it, because the first time you're just like, what's happening? The second time it's like he's watching Athena's head be cut off as the beggar's head is cut off. So it's kind of like a parallelism to the fact that the beggar was a god in disguise. Or that was actually just a beggar. But anyways, that's how they treated people going into their homeland. So,
it felt like a commercial, like 30 minutes in the movie, and then he'll just turn his head and look away, and it's like a reset. But yeah,
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that is what it was the entire time.
it reminded me that I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for another video. I'm going to have an outro soon. I will. Something cool, like what Z over there is saying, and what Freaky. I can't have Freaky, and he's symboling. Holy moly! This guy Aura Farms. You will see him in more videos. But nos vemos.
If you were one character, who would you be?
From the movie?
Yeah.
All of them are terrible.
Yeah. So pick one. Okay. Do you know any of them in your real life? Don't explain.
Yes, I do. I know a couple of them.
Do you know an Antinuous in your real life?
What?
A what?
The guy who was just like doing nothing, scared the entire time, kill them, and then he got killed by Odysseus. One of the suitors.
Oh. Well, I know a lot of those. I feel like I see a lot of these themes in regular people.
Yeah.
If I were to pick somebody on Poseidon, bro, what we talking about? I just disrupt people on see that dig bad crimes. Like, what we on? Freaky T? Who would you be Freaky T?
Probably the son.
Z.
I like how, I don't know if it's actually Athena, but I like how she appears as like a con. So I think Athena.
She's haunting people. Okay. I'll try to post more often.